Hey, what's up, guys? Hope you're all having a fantastic day. So, I'm gonna just jump into it. Let's just jump into it. So, right here we have England and France at the point of Calais and Dover. So, of course, between that time was Battle of Britain. Of course, you can tell by the title. You can tell what I'll be flying. So, without further ado, let me just jump into it. So, looking at the enemy first, like we always do, I'll be flying against the Bf-110 E-1 from 1941. Right here. You can look at it. See, I'll show you the visuals. It's very much angular wings right here. And then it has a split rudder system, so it's dual smaller rudders with a long elevator. And then it will have the skill of an ace. It will start at an altitude of 2,000 meters with a speed of 550 kilometers an hour. So that is really much it. So now I'll be jumping over to what I'll be flying. So what I will be flying is the Bristol Beaufighter Mark IC from 1941, so around similar time frame. Now let's look at the profile of the aircraft, or the top down. You can see the very wide elliptical wings, very large engines, appear to be a lot larger in size to the Bf-110. A little bit more slender in its appearance, whereas this one is very much more stubby. And then you can also tell by the gunner position and then how the cockpit is relation with like the nose and stuff like that, with a pretty flat nose. But you can see a more traditional elevator and rudder system right here. But with the similar elliptical wings, the very wide wings of the Spitfire and the Hurricane, and that allowed it to simply turn better than a 109 or a 110. As you can tell, the 110 has a very similar structure in its wings. So basically what I'll need to do is get this aircraft into a turn fight and then try to dominate it through that. So that would be my goal, is to force it into a turn fight and try to eliminate it that way. And when in doubt, I'll always have my gunner to cover my back in case something happens, and vice versa though. The German will have his gunner as well. So he'll have the skill of an ace. I actually, just to test it, I put my skill at average. I don't think it matters a whole lot. Just kind of like one of those tests. I think it's more important with bots. I'll start at an altitude of 2,000 meters with a speed of 382. So I kind of buffered, I nerfed myself a little bit, but by the time I get to that point, I'll be at 480 kilometers an hour. Fighting for the RAF, of course, because I in my main gameplay series, I fight against the British RAF during the Battle of Britain. If you haven't seen those, I'll have the links to all of it. So I started a Rumble account, so I'm kind of doing all that stuff, so I'll have both videos on both platforms. I'm trying to figure out how to get my videos over on Rumble. I'm still kind of playing with that, so Rumble, this will be my first video. Woo! This will be fun. So that's really it, guys. I'll have all the links to all that stuff, so if you want to hop over to Rumble or vice versa if you're watching this on Rumble. So I'm gonna just jump into it, guys. So let's get into it. Alright, beginning of round one, let's get into it. So, one thing that's immediately apparent is how beautiful this cockpit is. I mean, it is one of the coolest cockpits I've ever seen. Just the amount of detail that went into it. I don't believe it was in the vanilla version of the game, so I believe it's a mod of some sort. So, I have the guys from the SAS forums, watch my content. So if you participated in the making of this aircraft and cockpit, good on y'all. It was bloody fantastic. So the 110 right here pulls up vertically, of course, and I fire a mix between small caliber and cannon rounds, and then I try to roll under and chase after it. Now the most amazing thing about this fighter is the glass canopy up top, so turning is very easy. So I have a little kick right there, but nothing too bad, and I basically just slot in right behind the Bf-110. And right here you'll see me up here just throw a mix of just some I'm just trying to find a place to hit it, because I can't be immediately behind the Bf-110 because the gunner will light me up, and I can't attack from the top because that doesn't really work. So I'd have to hit it from basically the front or the bottom of the aircraft if I actually want to do any damage. So he pulls right here, and I throw a mix of cannon and small caliber rounds. I don't know if I hit it. There's a decent likelihood that I might have. So you can see the gunner, you can see the tracers flying by. The gunner is now trying to shoot at me, of course. I have my own gunner too, but I won't be operating him throughout this dogfight. So that might affect me bad, depending on kind of what happens, because I am set to average. So right here, I'm just kind of throwing rounds out. I'm just trying to basically force him to turn, slow him down. I can slot in behind him and I can shoot him, because I want to bait this Bf-110, because I know I'm going to outturn it. I know I'm going to outturn it. So he starts shooting. He doesn't appear to hit my engine, but he got very, very close. I lose him right here as I kind of try to flip around to find him, and I eventually do as I make the full turn here. And basically my goal is to not get shot, especially when I have huge engines that are relatively, large targets. So I'm basically just trying to bait this Bf-110 pilot into turn fights that I know I will win. So there's a cut right here, and the reason why is because we'd actually been in a turn fight several times. I actually kind of like lined it up pretty good, but we'd actually been in a turn fight for quite a while at this point. And as you can see, as it gets up right here, I force him, he runs out of energy and speed and just crashes into the water. I think I got him into a turn fight so long that he had no energy, because if he flew straight, I would catch up. Alright, round 2. So I don't think I had shot the Bf-110 in round 1 enough to cause it to crash. I think I just forced it into a turn fight so hard, and I made the Bf-110 pilot abuse its aircraft to the point where it lost all energy and just simply stalled, as you could tell, as it was going over across the water. So this time he's taken more of a low altitude approach, at least in his aspect towards me, and then pulls away and then pulls hard again towards me. So I'm expecting some sort of merge, maybe. And then, as you can see, he pulls really hard right here, and we both start firing. And I seem to have detached a wing, but we ended up both colliding. Now, for some reason, even though my rules state that if I bail out right now and he doesn't, I win, I just didn't think to bail out, and I tried to fight the aircraft, which was stupid of me to do. And then I tried to bail out too late, and that simply was unable to, and I crash and die. But he crashes as well, as you can see. So we both get a point. Alright, round 3, the last round. So we had a forced, basically grounding my first attempt in round 1. My second attempt ended up being a trade. So now it's a 2-to-1 situation, and it's very much possible. It's very possible that I win this round. But we'll have to see. Even if it was a draw, I still win. So basically, anything except a loss, I will win. So we get into this sort of head-on facing position. We both fire. I believe to have hit him. He fires. He does not hit me. I believe I have landed some pretty decent shots on him, as I am not too quick to chase, or at least drop my altitude immediately to pursue. As I just slowly pull around, I'm not being too harsh with my aircraft. I don't want to over push it, especially put it into a position where I can't recover. So he pulls up right here, fires. I don't know why. I fire my rounds. I don't believe I hit him. As we turn right here, and I actually receive some kickback, but nothing too major. As I get my nose down to, of course, gain some speed, and then we kind of find ourselves in a scissor, as doesn't appear to fire, nor is he in any position to. So I'm not super concerned about that motion right there. I'm not in too tight of turns at the moment, though I am concerned that he might be on my 6, as my gunner has not made any notification where his location is, so that's quite concerning. But I'm just trying to get away and get some speed. As you can see, I'm gaining speed and very rapidly, and a high speed for at least an aircraft from World War, or at least the early part of World War II. So I pull around right here, just essentially waiting for the blue tag to pop up, and right across here it does. Comes right out the sky. Of course, I get some G's right here as he tries to get me, but I'm just pulling super tight turns in this aircraft. The top glass allowing me to look in these tight turns, and the design of the aircraft is very much in my favor. Whereas this, he's almost there, and I mean he's on the hardest difficulty. He's trying. The problem is that while he's dropping dozens of kilometers a second, I've only dropped 30 within the past 15-20 seconds maybe, and that's ultimately going to cost him. Is look how slow he's now become as I'm slowly winning the turn, and I will soon be on his 6 with my guns ready. So right here I'm mentally thinking, close to the water, you don't want to over push your aircraft, as I get my gun sight ready, and I pull a little too hard right here and I actually receive some kickback, which scares me, but I was able to recover, thank God. And I'll have to postpone, at least temporarily, my victory. As we get right here, fire some rounds out. I might have hit his left wing as he was in that turn, but I don't believe I actually made any contact. And we find ourselves in another rolling scissor as he gets ready to use his weapons as I pass by. Throw some rounds out. Potentially I may have hit his aircraft. Might have not. We'll get to another turn right here as he actually wins this turn. Fires his rounds. It actually hits the section between my cockpit and my engines. That little, basically 1 foot, 1.5 foot gap. He actually makes contact right there, but it doesn't appear to be anything too important, as I have no problem controlling my aircraft, so I just simply keep going as I turn around right here. And like the beginning, I'm just basically turning, waiting for the blue to pop up, and it does. But as you can see, we are actually getting into a merge head-on situation. So we both passively, I debated on firing, but didn't want to risk forcing my aircraft, so I make the simple turn right here. He pulls up vertical, slowing himself tremendously as I pull up, and I shoot some rounds out, and I actually detach his tail from his airframe as I try to get around, and get the shot and splash. He crashes into the ground, and I was just this huge sigh of relief, and I thought it was an amazing shot, so I was super happy. So let's see who the winner is. All right, we won. That felt great. Of course, also, pardon, you might hear some hissing in the background. That is from my 3D printer moving. So if you hear any like that, just disregard it. My mic probably barely picks it up. But I was very intentional in my actions in this video. I think it's because while I flew the aircraft a little bit before flying, I was very key in how the aircraft behaved instead of just seeing if the aircraft flew and worked properly and then I'd go into. I was very intentional in how I behaved and what I did with the aircraft as to not abuse it and cause problems, and figure out what I can do with it, and then going into battle, and of course understanding aircrafts, understanding airframes, just the minor things that can go into winning a round. I was very intentional in how the events transpired, and that of course benefited me. So I was super happy with how this video turned out. I just had a lot of fun doing it. If you can tell, I switched over to a different video editing software, so I'm kind of getting used to that. If you're on Rumble, I am trying, and by the time you you see this video, I probably will have all my other videos uploaded, but if not, I will upload my videos later. So Rumble users, just keep in mind for that. YouTube users, of course, go check out my other content. I had a whole lot of fun editing and working on this video and recording, and it was just a blast, and it made it a lot more fun. And just putting in that extra effort makes a video a lot more fun to record and edit. So hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Check out my other content, like, subscribe, Rumble, do all that fun stuff. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.